What's going on? What's going on, team? It's Sander with Basic Trading Academy. Welcome back to another weekly stock talk. Crazy last 2 weeks. We've been selling off in the market as a whole for the last 2 weeks, basically. And then today we just saw some positive moves. We've seen airlines doing well throughout this whole time. Taking a look at SPY, which is the S&P 500. That's been selling off as well for the last 2 weeks, basically. We did see a little bit of a pull up. So potentially we might be starting to see a recovery, but there's no guarantees in the market. We did end up bouncing off of this support level here. However, like I said, we're still below the SMA, so we could still see a pullback tomorrow, which is Tuesday. The House should be passing the stimulus package. We also have the CPI report coming out. That is coming out on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we're getting the consumer sentiment report that's coming out as well. So lots to kind of digest this week in the markets. But depending on how all that goes is really what's going to dictate how this market reacts to it. So today, what we're going to be doing for this upcoming week is we're going to be taking a look at a few more stocks than usual, just because we've seen such a big pullback that there's a lot of opportunities being presented. So if you guys are excited to kind of catch on to, what opportunities are available right now, drop a like, drop a comment as to what you guys are watching. And if you guys like this kind of content, make sure you guys are subscribed. And let's hop right into it. So usually we're doing about maybe 10 to 15 stocks on a week where we see some great opportunities. This time around though, however, it's about 25 to 30 stocks. So we're going to jump through them fairly quickly. The first few, I'm going to kind of explain as to what I'm looking for and what the students in the program are looking at as well. If you guys are interested in the program, make sure to drop down below, hit me up on Instagram, tell me that you're interested, and we can get you all set up. So the first one that we're going to be taking a look at is APPS. So this one had a fairly big pullback. One of the common things that we've been seeing across the market is a lot of tech has been selling off as well. So APPS, we saw a nice pullback. We are in oversold territory, getting there, not quite there. However, we did get to this support here at around 62-ish, 61, 62. And we'll see if that holds. We did break below the SMA, so that's not looking too exciting, but everything was pulling back. So, it could be grounds for worrying, but at this point, considering that the entire market was pulling back, it's not something that, I get worried about too much. It's more about kind of observing and waiting for that opportunity for that break of the EMA. And then once we break the EMA, that would be a great entry point. MACD's pulling back. That's also looking, fairly good. That doesn't look like we're coming into any reversals yet, but this is definitely one to keep watch on. So basically watching the RSI, watching the MACD, what I want to see and what you guys should be paying attention to is you guys want to look for stocks that have consistently been in an uptrend. And, obviously when there's bad news in the markets, not doing too well, everything is going to be really pulling back. And that's kind of what happened. So, this pullback, happened along with the market, but it's also fairly healthy to see a pullback. And depending on what happens this week, we might see a lot of these stocks begin to recover. Considering that we've had an uptrend in something such as APPS, and it's been fairly consistently holding above the SMA, once we see a recover, we can see that, it's probably going to continue to keep this similar trend unless there's some negative catalyst that takes place. So this is one that I'm paying attention to. sklz is the next one. So this one had a nice pullback as well. fairly consistent. This one I'm not too excited about. However, you know, the reason I'm looking at it is earnings is coming up on the 10th. So depending on how those go, we might see a pop up back to the upside because we have been seeing a consistent uptrend on this one as well. So this one, you know, one to be paying attention to as well. So from current prices to, you know, previous highs, we're looking at about 83%. So this one's fairly, you know, if this ends up recovering, there's quite a bit of opportunity here. The next one is PINS, and that's Pinterest. Not the greatest here. We did see, once again, consistent uptrend pattern on this one as well. Something we like to see. We did see a nice pullback here. And, you know, RSI is in oversold territory. MACD, it did look like we might have been getting beginning of a, you know, an uptrend, but then we ended up getting rejected by this EMA. So this is the one that you want to be paying attention to, is you want to be paying attention to the EMA. Once we break the EMA, then it's a potential sign of either a recovery or a reversal of trend. However, as of right now, we did get rejected. We are still heading down. So one to be paying attention to. I wouldn't say something to jump into just yet. ENPH is going to be the next one. This one here, same thing that we've been looking at. That's what we're looking at again. Uptrend, consistent uptrend pattern, holding above the SMA over the last few months, since basically June. And then just now, when the entire market's been selling off, this one has been selling off as well. So once we begin to see the market recover, this is something I expect to begin to recover as well. However, as of right now, you know, oversold territory, MACD is not looking the best yet. Also not one to be jumping into yet. We're not even close to the EMA, which is this blue line right here. Once we get and approach this EMA, that's a time to be paying attention to this one, to jump into it. As of right now, definitely have this one on your watch list, because from current prices to previous highs, we're looking at about 39% profit potential. Next one we're going to be jumping into is cvna. This is somewhat with, you know, this is definitely one that's very interesting. This one's had a very consistent uptrend for a very long time, since basically June. We did see a pullback, not the first time we've seen a pullback, and we are actually at a very common support level here. We're paying attention. This has been a support for the last, basically since the beginning of the year. We've seen multiple bounces on this level here, and that's exactly what we're approaching. So this is definitely one to be paying attention to right now. MACD, potentially no signs of a reversal quite yet, but that can happen fairly quickly. We are in oversold territory on the 4-hour here. We are approaching the support level here as well. So definitely one to be paying attention to, especially if EVs and the entire market begins to to recover. This is definitely one to be, you know, paying attention to. Also, you know, Citigroup just adjusted Carvana's price target to 350 from 305. We are at 242 right now. And if we're paying attention from current prices to previous highs, we're looking at about 33.44%. And that's not bad. The next one that we would be looking at is Z. This one the team's been paying attention to basically since this entire market's been selling off. We are at 125, which once again is another support level here that we've bounced off of before. So in the beginning of the year, and then around February, we jumped off of this level, and then now we're at this level again. This one, you know, we are starting to potentially see signs of a reversal here. We're in oversold territory. That's looking good on the RSI. And then once again, we're on support here. Once we begin to approach this EMA, that's when I would be definitely looking at potentially going in with a small entry position on this one. But from current prices to previous highs, we're looking at 37.8%. Definitely one to be paying attention to, and I don't think Zillow is going to be going anywhere. So this is a pretty pretty good stock to be paying attention to. Once again, consistent uptrend pattern over the last 6 months, more 7 months. So these are the kind of things that you guys should be paying attention to. NVDA is another one that we're going to be looking at. This one's been a little bit horizontal lately, the last few months. That being said, though, with the market pulling back, we've seen a lot of support at these levels up here. And we did break that level. We ended up pulling back more after earnings, and with the market selling off as well. We're looking good on the RSI, oversold. MACD, not too sure about a reversal quite yet, but once this does blow up, it looks like it's going to be 32.9% profit potential. A lot of opportunity here, with the market pulling back and everything. We're seeing a lot of opportunities. And so that's why this video might be a tad bit longer, but believe me, you guys, it's going to be worth your time to watch this, and definitely add these to your watch lists. Because once things start turning around, it's going to turn around fairly quickly. And if you haven't been paying attention, you're going to miss out. And you're going to be potentially, putting yourself in a position to get in at the wrong time, instead of, paying attention to them right now and jumping in while you're still getting a deal on these. The next one is Chegg. This one's also one that we've been watching since basically last week as well. Had a nice run up here. However, we did get rejected by the SMA, and then we ended up selling off once again. We are once again in oversold territory. And no signs of a reversal quite yet on the RSI, but the next level I'd probably be watching is approximately 75 here if we continue downwards. This one's probably not, obviously the opportunity is there. It's about 40% profit potential if we recover completely, but this one also has quite a bit of risk that comes along with it. The next support level that I'd be paying attention to is about 75-ish area. Yeah, so I also want to put on your watch list for sure, but probably not one of the hottest ones that I'd be talking about just yet. Square, consistent uptrend over the last 6, 7, 8 months. Oversold territory. MACD is also looking like we might potentially begin to reverse. If the market reverses, these are sure things that they're going to pop off. These are strong, stable companies. Been around, they have solid foundation. We are also at a support level here. We did bounce off this level once. We are near it right now. So either we're going to drop down and potentially jump off of it again, or we break through it and make lower lows, probably heading down to the next level would probably be 151. That's the next one I'd be paying attention to. And then after that, probably 140. However, I'm still staying optimistic about the market as a whole, definitely paying attention to all these opportunities. And I think with the stimulus package that's going to come through, we're going to see a lot of positive sentiment. That's my opinion. And so, these are definitely opportunities that I'd be wanting to pay attention to. I'd want to know about them before they start taking off, and I miss out on them. So not saying to jump into them just yet, but definitely keep an eye on them. That way, once you do get confirmation, once we get a break above that EMA line, then you're more confident about making the decision of whether you should invest in certain thing or not. The next one we're paying attention to is going to be Lmnd. This one, definitely, I'm still paying attention to this one, and I think there's a lot of opportunity here. It has pulled back quite a bit, and we ended up on this support level here, right over here. We are consolidating a bit here for the last few days, so we'll see if we do make a break. We are very, very oversold here. That doesn't mean we can't continue down. However, definitely, something that makes you wonder, is it about to turn around? Is it about to reverse? Definitely wanting to be paying attention to this one. This one has a fairly large profit potential. We are about 88.51 from current prices. to previous highs, we're looking at about 52%. That's quite a bit. So this one's also a very interesting one, very good one to be paying attention to. Also a very consistent, strong uptrend pattern. And then, market selling off. We had earnings coming out, a lot of negative things happening, a lot of negative catalysts, and it ended up pulling back quite a bit. Unfortunate for those that were in it. However, for us that we're paying attention to, it's definitely, exciting to see something like that presenting itself, potentially letting us get into it so that we can turn a profit on this. The next one that I'm going to be paying attention to is one that is fairly talked about a lot. It's Tesla. And we saw a huge pullback on this one. We went from 904.40 cents all the way to $567. That is massive. And so if we're looking at the profit potential from current prices to where it was, that's about 60%. That is huge. And Tesla is a very, everybody has their opinions on Tesla. That being said, though, we are approaching this support level here, which we established all the way back in, that was August. Yeah, back in August, end of August, we established that, beginning of September. We established that level here. We ended up verifying that level out here in November, and now we approached it. We bounced off of it, I believe it was 2 days ago or a day ago, and now we are either bouncing or we might be either breaking this one. However, if we're paying attention to the RSI, this RSI is looking great. It looks like we might be going into a potential reversal. And that was the MACD, my bad. And then on the RSI, we've been in oversold territory this entire time. So, if the market as a whole reverses, I see huge potential here. Definitely something I'd be really paying attention to. That being said, one that comes along fairly well with Tesla is going to be ARK. And that is actually a fund. And this one had a massive holding of Tesla. So, obviously Tesla began to sell off, the market sold off. So this also dropped. So, Tesla's priced around, $500-ish, $560, whatever it was. This one's a little bit more affordable, I guess. You can get more shares at this price. And, I wouldn't say, let's check if the profit potential is similar or not. It's not exactly 60%, but this one's 30%. This one it's a fund, so it's not all Tesla. Obviously, there's other stocks that are in this fund. But this is also one that would recover, in my opinion, if Tesla begins to recover, if tech begins to recover, if the market begins to recover. This one would be also one that would be recovering. We have seen consistent uptrend on this as well throughout the last, 7 months, 8 months. And so the profit potential, 30%, 40%, as a matter of fact, from current prices to previous highs, 44%. That is something that you would want to be paying attention to. A lot of opportunities, guys. AMD is the next one that we're paying attention to. Oversold on the RSI, MACD. We are approaching a support level here. So from current prices, this is more of a horizontal play here. And it's about 28%, nothing as big as, 30, 40, 50%. That we saw previously and some of those other opportunities, but this one is very, I would say a little bit more predictable. Made highs, lows, highs, stayed up there for a while, and now we're back at the support level that we've been, holding since, September, and then in November we held it as well, and now we're approaching the same level. So, potential bounce here to be watching. If not, we do have, quite ways to make down. Definitely one to be paying attention to for sure. DOCU is another one, Docusign. This one, probably not one of my most favorite ones out of all of the ones that, we've been over so far. However, it has been a slow uptrend, but this one also presents a great opportunity. Looking at about 39, 40% from current price points. We have earnings coming out about this one as well. RSI is looking good. MACD is looking good. I'm here to present you guys with the opportunities, and you guys need to make the decision on your own, is if that's something that you know, it's a company that you believe in, or if it's something that you want to be invested in. That's up to you to make. However, the opportunity is definitely there. And you know, that's what I want to show you guys. And I want to give you guys that opportunity to jump into it when there's, you know, when there's still time. Shopify, also another huge name that's been doing very, very well. When, you know, if we look at the daily chart, basically all of 2020, you know, we've been doing very, very well on this one. And then we had a huge, nice pullback. We're pulled back actually down all the way to this SMA line on the daily chart. So, you know, it's done very well throughout the pandemic. The market continued to sell off now. So we saw a very nice pullback. And so, in my opinion, this is a very strong, interesting company to be invested in, taking advantage of, you know, when we have these discounted price points. We are at a support level here, once again, testing that support level, and, you know, made a little bit, you know, little lower lows a little bit below that, but we'll see depending on what happens tomorrow and this week with the market. You know, from current price points to previous highs, we're looking at about 37%. Definitely something I'd be paying attention to and interested in. The next one is Nnox. Nnox. This one had a very nice pullback. We were oversold. We did end up breaking actually the well, we are breaking the EMA as, you know, we're going through it this week. So depending on if we hold this EMA line or not, we might be starting to see a reversal on this one to, you know, potentially, you know, 30 or 54 level. And if we make higher highs past that, breaking the SMA, probably, you know, heading back up to previous highs, which is about 132% profit potential on this one. So this one, we've already began the reversal in my opinion, but we'll see if it holds. We still have to, you know, break through this resistance level. And I mean, we got plenty of room on the RSI still, and MACD is looking fairly good. So this is one that, you know, I'd be paying attention to for sure as well throughout this week. A lot of profit potential on this one. FSLY, fsly. This one, the team's been watching. Sorry about that. The team's been watching this one for some time now as well. This entire pullback, we did approach this support level here that we made all the way back in November. So depending on how we do on this here, we have a lot of profit potential heading back up to previous, not even highest highs, but, you know, to the previous highs that we had just maybe, you know, last month basically. And that profit potential is about 47%. So this is definitely one I would be paying attention to. I am paying attention to. And I do have a small position going in this one. Once we see a break of the EMA and support confirmation, I'm definitely going to probably, you know, scale my size on this one. You know, I think there's a lot of potential in this one for sure. aapl, Apple, strong company. You know, Apple's going to be around for some time. We do have, you know, horizontal pattern going here. We did see a nice pullback with the market pulling back. So from current price points to, you know, previous highs, we're looking at about 25% profit potential. Oversold in the RSI. MACD is looking fairly good. This one's I'm still paying attention to, not in this yet. Wanting to wait for it to have some confirmation before I jump into this. You know, because Apple and Tesla and all these strong companies, although they're very solid companies, they still can continue to sell off if the market continues to sell off. So I want to get the best possible deal I can. So that's why I'm waiting. You know, even if I do jump in once we break the EMA, I'm still getting it around, you know, 119. And previous highs was at 145, and I'm probably going to hold on to this one for a little bit just because this is a very solid company and I don't see it going anywhere. So, you know, I'd rather jump in at the best price that I can, with as much confidence as I can that it's going to perform the way I want it to and the way I plan for it to perform after I jump into it. So also one I'm paying attention to similar to Tesla and Amazon and all of those. The next one I'll be looking at is going to be Wing. So this one, massive pullback on this one as well. Huge pullback. I want to say, let's take a look. We pulled back around 33%, and that is basically our profit potential. This one's probably not doesn't have the most solid, I would say, the most solid pattern to be paying attention to. But you know, we are at a support here. We did end up having, you know, it's more of a horizontal play. This one's taking a little bit of time to play out though. You know, obviously the opportunity's there, decision to jump into something like this, where it doesn't have, you know, a consistent pattern like we've seen in some of the other ones. That is really up to you. However, nevertheless, the opportunity's there. Probably, you know, one to be paying attention to, but something that has been solid and strong and has a consistent uptrend over the last few months is a little bit more appealing in my eyes than something like this, because we don't really know how this will play out, even though this can do very well. So, you know, like I said, the decision is yours, something for you to be paying attention to. You know, comparing that to Peloton, you know, this one's had a consistent uptrend over the last, you know, six, seven months. And so this is something I'd be a little bit more comfortable in jumping into this, because we have that historic data telling us how well this company has been doing and can continue to do. So we'll see. This one, we are approaching the EMA on this. We are looking good on the RSI and the MACD. So from current prices, let's say from the break of the EMA to previous highs, we're looking at approximately, you know, 54%. If we're looking all the way at 171, we're looking at about 62%. So a lot of profit potential on this one. The next one is going to be BABA. This one I've been watching for some time now, you know, since it's been selling off since 319. We did, you know, have a bounce here at 211, made highs, higher highs, and then we ended up getting rejected at these levels up here. And now we're sold back off to this support level. We'll see if the support level holds. If not, then, you know, I'd expect it to hold at around 211, but we'll see. But currently, even from this price point to previous highs, we're looking at about 40%. BABA, also a company I don't think is going to be going anywhere anytime soon. So also a strong company I'd be paying attention to, similar to Amazon, which is our next one. This one had a nice strong sell-off. So from current highs, everybody kind of knows what Amazon is. So this one's about a 15% profit potential. Strong, stable company, not one I'd be worried about, because otherwise, you know, I'd be looking at this as an opportunity to jump into something like this. Pretty much. That's about as much as I can say about Amazon, you know. That company is not going anywhere for sure. So I wouldn't say jumping into it right now. Once again, on the break of the EMA is when I would be jumping into it, but definitely one to be paying attention to, as it can make lower lows as the market sells off. But if we do start to see a recovery, I would expect this to recover along with the market. The next one is going to be Gpro Gopro. This one I like quite a bit too. We've been seeing, you know, strong, consistent uptrend on this one. Ran up to 1277, and then we pulled right back down to here. We did end up breaking EMA at this level. This is one I really like. I'm paying attention to this one. From current price points to previous highs, we're looking at about 34%. This is a company I enjoy. I use quite a bit. So this is something I believe in. So I would be very interested in investing in something like this, especially when we have an opportunity similar to this one. I do have a starter position on this one as well. And I'm just waiting for a more solid confirmation. And then once we see that, I'll probably go in a little bit heavier on my position on this particular stock. IROM is the next one. You've got just a few more, guys. So stay patient. IROM. I believe I might have written this one down a little bit wrong. yeah, I think this one, we'll scratch this one. I'm not sure, I might have miswrote the ticker. The next one would be Walmart, WMT. Nice strong pullback here. Right after earnings came out, we had a massive pullback. It looks like we made a little bit of consolidation period here, and potentially we're making higher highs. So we'll see if this holds from these levels to the latest high that we had. We're looking at about 12%. To if we're looking at previous highs, we're looking at about 16%. Nevertheless, strong company. Walmart's not going anywhere, that's for sure. So definitely want to be paying attention to. RSI is looking good. MACD is looking good on this one as well. Race, which is one I'm paying attention to just because I really want to get into this. It's not something anybody else has to get into, but it's just a company that I would want to get into, and that's Ferrari. This one's been selling off for quite a bit. We are approaching the RSI. We have done that before though, and we have gotten rejected. So I'm waiting for this break of the, not the RSI, the EMA, waiting for that break of the EMA here. Once I see confirmation, that's when I'm going to want to jump into it. RSI is looking fairly good. And so is the MACD is looking fairly good, in the RSI as well. So one I'm excited about, I want to be paying attention to this one. And from current prices to previous highs, we're looking at about 18.77%. Not the greatest. However, it's just a very interesting company that I personally am interested in. Doesn't mean that you guys have to be interested in it as well, but this one has been selling off, and I've been watching this one and excited about checking it out to potentially jump into it. One that I think is gonna do fairly well is gonna be Dkng. This one had a nice pop off here, went up to 73, and then we ended up pulling right back down to the SMA line. We are starting to look like we are going into a reversal on the MACD. So this is one I'd probably be paying attention to in the near future. This week, in the coming days, probably see quite a bit of a move here on this one. Something I'd probably keep at the top of my watch list. RSI is looking good, and we are starting to look like we bounced around the SMA line. The only thing I'd be watching is this level, this resistance level, which is about 64. But if we do fairly well, we are breaking above the EMA. From current prices to previous highs, we're looking at about 18.67%, which is not bad at all. Just a couple more guys, nndm, huge pullback on this one. We have earnings coming out. Depending on how earnings go, we might see a move up or a continuation move down to the downside. We are breaking above the EMA. It looks like, but however, we've done this before, not once, but multiple times. We approached it. Looks like we made a little bit higher than the EMA, and then we ended up pulling right back. So we're looking like we're breaking the EMA. I would probably see what happens tomorrow on Tuesday. If we see confirmation and the RSI and the MACD look good, and earnings are going to be good, I potentially can see a move to the upside, and that is about 110%. So this is one I'd be definitely paying attention to. If we're looking at above the SMA, that's still 58%. And if we're looking at historic data, we've been staying above this SMA line. So from current prices to the SMA line, we're looking at about 58-60%. And then if we're looking from current prices to previous highs, that's 50. From current prices to previous highs, we're looking at about 113%. This is one I'd be excited to follow up with for sure. The next one is going to be comm. Probably not as exciting as this one, but nevertheless still an opportunity. Looks like we have broken above the EMA, and looks like we're making higher highs. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We still have some room on the RSI to run, and the MACD is looking fairly good, so I can probably see something coming up from current prices to 16-ish. That's about 4.6%. Not as great as the other one, but nevertheless an opportunity. When looks like we had a nice push today above the EMA. We are at the SMA, so we'll see if we break the SMA. If we do, I can potentially see higher highs. We'll have a little bit more room to run before we become overbought on the RSI, and the MACD is looking fairly good. I think the bulk of the move was here. We saw a lot of volume coming in here, so we'll see if this thing takes off or not. Definitely quite a bit of potential here if we do. If we do end up taking off, you know, we're at 20 and, you know, previous highs are at 24.91. Definitely one to keep an eye on, I would say. Hog also has some opportunity. It looks like we pulled back, made higher highs, consolidating here. And depending on, you know, what happens with this price, if we end up breaking the SMA or not, we might be returning back to, you know, previous highs. We have been holding for the most part above the SMA line. So, you know, if this breaks above the SMA, I wouldn't be surprised. We do have a little bit of room to run on the RSI. Probably this one wouldn't be the top of my watch list, but definitely one to be paying attention to nevertheless. And mpaa, this is one we talked about last week. This one made, you know, talked about this one on last week's Stock Talk, and then we ended up making quite a bit of, we made about 13.5% gains on this one, and yet we still have room to run. We have another 10% until we reach previous highs. So one I'd be paying attention to. We have quite a bit of momentum, I would say, going on the MACD. RSI, you know, I would say we potentially have some room to run still. I'd be careful with this one, but I would still be watching this one to make, you know, potentially higher highs. So that should be it, guys, for this week. Quite a bit of opportunities to be paying attention to. So if you stuck around this long, definitely smash a thumbs up. That would definitely help the channel, and that would show me that you guys enjoyed this, even though it was a little bit longer. But I just wanted to give you guys as much opportunities to, you know, invest in something that you see value in as I could. So I hope you guys found some value in this. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you drop a like on this video, and comment what you guys are watching. If I missed something, something I didn't see in the markets that you guys think is valuable and you guys see great opportunity in that, drop it in the comments below. And I will see you guys next week on next week's video. Yeah. Have a great week, guys.